And on today's episode,
A lot of times women are entering into menopause or perimenopause. Before they get there, they don't understand what is happening because a lot of people don't educate themselves in those arenas. I know that eventually I'm going to be 50 or I'm going to be 40 or I'm going to be 60. So, around that time now, based on food and the things that are happening in the world, they're starting at 35 earlier.
so many things cause a broken home when sex is done outside of God's way.
Yeah, and like I said, no sex, no broken home, no sex, no kids, no sex, no marriage.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
There was only one kid without sex.
And he sits on the throne at the right hand of the
That's
Father.
right. That's Jesus.
And I'm gonna start asking questions. I'll be just like, what?
Right.
I didn't sign up to be in a sexless marriage. I mean, those type of conversations have to be had instead of just like, he's rejecting me. And it just seemed like, what kind of conversations have you had?
Right.
And a lot of times they're not having conversations.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Never moves. This is how we learn what real love proves. Next level marriage podcast. We're calling you to something deeper, something pure and true. Male and female, just the way he plays.
The Next Level Marriage Podcast. I am one half of your dynamic duo. I go by the name of Dr. James Byrd. And to my side, as always, my lovely wife, and she goes by the name of
Dr. Angel Byrd.
And together, you know us as
The Lovebirds.
And welcome to another episode. Mm-hmm. We are talking all things marriage and family, and it is one of our favorite things to do. And so we're going to do and make it do what it do, right? So how are you doing today, lovely lady?
I am better today, and
You're
I'm
better.
better today, and I'm better today.
All right, she is better today. Well, let's get into it. How about that, huh? On today's episode, we are going to talk about...
Let's talk about sex.
You beat me to it.
I kind of know you.
You actually beat me to the punch. We're talking S-E-X, sex. Yes, we are talking sex. Mm-hmm. And hey, we're just going to see where this conversation about sex goes. So let's dive in. How about that? So, man, as I think about talking about the topic of sex, and as it relates to marriage, first and foremost, let's say this: sex was designed by God for marriage. So let's just nip that in the bud right now. It was not designed for it's gonna be the only person I'm with, or we're solo in our relationship, or we're gonna eventually get married. I love them. Marriage is just a piece of paper, and no, it's not for none of that. It is,
and we have heard it all.
We've heard it all. It is for commitment. Mm-hmm. It is for marriage.
Yeah, it's incredible how people mentally can convince themselves based on how bad they want something to come up with their definition of what it means and what it should look like aside from God.
Oh, that was pretty good. I like the way you put that. That was pretty good. Based upon how bad we want something, we will. Actually, we're looking, we're searching, we're seeking for someone to make it sound in a way that we could say, okay, I can rock with that. Mm-hmm. And although you see some man say that, or some woman say that, some social media present say that, somebody in a barbershop or beauty shop say that, the design behind that is Satan.
Absolutely. Because if marriage wasn't just meant, if sex wasn't just meant for marriage, then why do you experience so much pain with sex outside of marriage?
Our whole society experiences pain.
Yeah.
Based upon sex outside of marriage.
Yes.
The brokenness of homes
is outside of marriage. And it's like, if it wasn't a thing, then why does it hurt so bad? Because you think about that for a moment. I go out to a club and I hang
You
out.
still clubbing? I thought you was. Oh, you talking about in the past? Oh, you just making up an example?
Yeah,
okay, my
I'm just
bad.
giving an example.
Okay. You told me you was at your friend's house. You was out at the club. No, I'm sorry.
You real calm. You real calm. And so I leave the club with somebody I barely know. Or today in our society, women, it's like, you see him over there? I'm going to get that tonight.
Because he looked good.
Whatever
To
the
them,
case, his
or something.
car, something look good. And then they end up going home, or he come over, wherever they go, most it could end up in a car. And you're left with these feelings and scars and this disappointment, this yuck, these things you feel.
That's
Even if you keep coming back to it, every time you still feel void.
Now this is really good because I bet there are people in such a dark place right now because of pain and things that they're going through, whatever, that they don't realize that they're seeking. I just want some. But at some point they wake up.
Yeah.
At some point they sober up. At some point, and then they realize, like, what have I been doing?
Yeah. What did I do? And then when I think about being in a marriage, and even when the marriage is not good, they try to use sex to feel better and to make up.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what the broken, fallen world is doing with sex, to the point where it turns into perversion versus the goodness that God made it to be in marriage.
Yeah.
And so whenever perversion and all of these different things enter in, now it's coming across in a completely way, in the way that God intended it to be.
No.
And so it's just like, sex can be a beautiful experience when it's two people that God put together that love each other, that keeps them coming back to each other.
It keeps building that connection.
Yes,
Yeah.
keep building that connection if it's done often enough. But if that's not your husband and that is not your wife, sometimes you're sitting up thinking about, dang, I wonder, is it just me? How many times, okay, he been gone, like, is he coming over today? Just all of the thoughts that you battle with because there's no commitment in there. And if people say that they don't battle with those things, they are a liar and the truth is not in them.
Especially knowing, like, all the potential sexually transmitted diseases that are out there and all the things like that. And we can be, without Christ, can be so deceived that we're willing to risk it.
Yeah. And it's like, how many men and women, because it ain't a woman thing, it ain't a man thing. How many women and men get together for the first time using no protection, and they get pregnant, and the first thing the man say, it ain't mine. And now we have the beginning of a broken home through sex, because there can't be a broken home without sex.
Right.
And so through sex, now we have a broken home, a child somewhere where it shouldn't be, or a child displaced, or a child without their father, or a child without their mother, because that ain't my kid.
Right.
And I can just think about all the women I know that a man told them that wasn't my kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And then even men that wanted to admit that it was their kid because they're not in the right space, with God and with this part in their life or whatever. Once the woman gets pregnant and the chaos happens in the relationship, whatever, they're like, out, I ain't got to put up with this. I'll go find somebody else now. There's the broken home again. So, so many things cause that broken home.
Yeah.
Then we can add a third category to it. That person wants to be there, but God is not first in their lives.
Yeah.
That person wants to be there. They want to be there for the kid. They stick and stay through it or whatever. And maybe even they married a person or whatever. But if God's not with them, if God never takes control, the reins of their life, they end up in divorce. They end up in another. It still ends up in a. So many things cause a broken home when sex is done outside of God's way.
Yeah, and like I said, no sex, no broken home. No sex, no kids. No sex, no marriage.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
There was only one kid without sex.
And he sits on the throne at the right hand of the
That's
Father.
right. That's Jesus.
And so that's why out of all the things that we do or practice sin or do sin, Sex is the one thing that God says that you do outside of the body, and that thing right there is one of the most dangerous things you can do when you're not doing it in covenant.
Yeah, absolutely. And then now let's go here too. Think about all the people that have done sex outside of covenant through our life prior to marriage.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get married and you have all these experiences with other women and other ways and other things that you wasn't supposed to have. And now you try to bring that into this holy matrimony, to this relationship or whatever. And that's just not right.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Some people then are battling with thoughts of other women because they remember doing this with that person and this person. Maybe they got this music playing and that was the song that we used to groove to. You got all these things going on that we're not supposed to be because you chose to do it out of order.
Yeah, because the only thing that can be driving your imagination is lust when you say, man, I was with this one and this one this, and I was with that one and this one felt this. At the end of the day, everybody looking for the same outcome. So if you're looking for the same outcome when you're having sex, then the only thing that can make you feel like you have to have so many other people is because it is driven by lust.
Yes.
Not because I love them and this is what God put together.
Exactly.
So your mind have convinced you that this one is better. And I mean, come on. I mean, it may fulfill your fantasies, but it's still lust.
No, it's lust.
It's still sin.
It's sin.
And
It's
all
lust.
of those things, because you should want to feel like when I wake up in the morning, this person is still going to love me, and this person is still going to be my husband, and this person is in love with God, and this is good because God said it was.
Yeah, no,
You
absolutely.
know, all of those things, and that is not what is happening today.
Yeah.
And we got just as many believers stepping outside of the marriage or not being married and experiencing sex, and then it messes them up before they even get going. Because when you think about a couple who waits like God wants them to do it, if they end up breaking up, the pain is not the same.
Right. No, that's true.
I mean, it's just not. They don't have
not.
that one. They didn't connect like that.
They didn't. That's
And
right.
so when you do that, you might not believe that you are married or you become one, but God said that you were.
That you become one,
And
yeah.
so then you wonder why you feel that tearing and that separation.
Especially if you had kids or
Oh
something.
my God. And so it is a dangerous thing to mishandle because it destroys lives to the point where perversion is at the highest level because of it.
Yeah.
And we're at a place now, sex is being used to destroy babies, kids, and everything when it was never meant to happen in that way. So now let's just kind of go back to how it's supposed to happen in a right way,
Yeah.
and in the God way, and things like that. So the question would be, are you having sex as often as you want to? Are you not having it? Or if you're not and you're in a marriage, what is happening that's causing you to not want to?
Put your answer in the chat if you are. And by the way, if I haven't said it, which I did in this episode, I'm going to say it now. Please help us get this message out. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and share the podcast, man.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to hear this.
Yeah, because in a marriage, why is sex not happening as often? Why don't you enjoy it anymore? Why are you saying no? And all of these things that are taking place, because we don't really talk to too many people where it's like, we're so excited and we're so happy. And we just, we on a regular basis. You see what I'm saying? And so the majority of the couples who come to us are coming because there's a problem. And so they're coming where, oh no, I haven't had sex with my husband in a year. Man. Like, how in the world are you even still married?
Man, yeah.
Like a year?
Yeah, yeah. and it's hard to it's hard to talk about that without going into the other reasons why that's happening, and we're not going to do that necessarily in this episode. We're talking about sex, but to understand, we're not having sex in a year because there's no emotional connections. Our communication is off. We're not handling conflict well. All them 10 things we talked about last week or whatever. Check out last week's episode. But like, there should be something in us that says that, like, hey, wait a minute, yeah, it's been too long. Like, let's figure this out.
But
Let's get
most
this
people
back.
know why it's been so long.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
That's true.
Because they be like, well, we know we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Or I ain't touched her in this long. Man, they literally can communicate with you.
Yeah.
Versus saying enough is enough. Like, you're no longer even in the marriage game if you have not had sex with your husband or your wife in a year.
And I can't. I mean,
Unless
listen,
it's sickness, disease, or
Right.
something stopping you.
Exactly, because I'm like, it's hard for me to believe that somebody, male or female, but especially a man, it's hard for me to believe that a man who has not had sex with his wife in a year is not either some doing pornography, masturbation, adultery,
Yeah.
something. I mean, it's hard for me not to believe he's not doing something
Let me
else.
just say this. Like I said last week when I said we try to be really nice when we talk about things, but you have to be talking to a complete idiot for them to believe that you don't have a reason as a man that you haven't touched your wife in a year. To convince somebody you're not doing nothing, that person has to be crazy to believe you. Because there's no way that you were created to be in a marriage, say you love your wife, say you desire and want your wife, and go a whole year and not touch her without those one or two of those things being in the arena of why you're not doing it. Because like we said before, when men watch pornography and get hooked, they stop having sex with their wife. But if a wife is watching pornography, she wants to have sex with her husband. And so they don't even understand what's taking place in their physical, mental, and emotional realm when they're watching pornography and doing all of those type of things, masturbation or any of those things. Not so much when you're out committing adultery, but those other two things literally destroy and shrink your brain to a size where you don't even desire, and the only way you want to be fulfilled is through that way. But that ain't being talked about. It's like no one's coming out talking about what has happened to your brain, what is happening to your nervous system, what is happening to you when you're doing those type of things. And so if I'm married to you, if all of a sudden everything being right, I will be convinced that there is something that is happening. If you just all of a sudden, for months and months, I'm not pursuing you in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm gonna start asking questions. I'll be just like, what?
Right.
I didn't sign up to be in a sexless marriage. I mean, those type of conversations have to be had instead of just like, he's rejecting me. And it just seemed like, what kind of conversations have you had?
Right.
And a lot of times they're not having conversations.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like happening.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good, man. So, man, we talking about sex. Is this the first
Are you
episode?
okay? Yeah.
No,
All
I'm
right.
good. No,
You
I'm real
good?
good. I'm real
You
good.
good?
This is the first episode we've talked about just really dedicated it on sex.
Yeah,
whatever.
but that's one of the, outside of God.
Yeah.
That's one of the most important things in the marriage.
No,
for
it is.
connection, for intimacy, for all of those things.
So let's talk about those who are they're married and they're having sex.
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe that there can be a difference between having sex because we love each other and want to satisfy each other, and even though we're married, we're satisfying a lust in our marriage. And it may not even be both of them. It could be just one. It could be the man.
So what would you be doing that is present?
No, I'm saying that, like, let's just say men. There are men who battle with lust before they got married.
Yeah.
Just because you got married don't mean lust is satisfied.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But now you take out that lust on your wife. And so now you're trying to force her to do things and and turn tricks and create things or whatever that maybe she's not comfortable with or things like that, or you're watching something and then trying to make it happen here or there or whatever. So it's not like you don't care. I mean, here's one. You don't care that whether communication is good, whether emotional connection is good. You just like, hey, we're married, let's do it or whatever. You know, the Bible, you don't know no Bible scriptures, but the Bible says your body's not yours, it's mine or whatever. You know that one, you know.
Pop quiz.
Yeah, that's the one scripture you think you know. And so you can still be moving in with lust even within your marriage, and that I don't believe that's God's design for sex in marriage.
Because sometimes people think because you're married, sex is good, and because you married, you just supposed to do it any old kind of way, and I don't agree with that. If I know that I'm being used like a lust demon, and that you're just only trying to satisfy a lust that you have, and that I am not considered in this arena, and that you just turn over off as if you don't even know me, then that would be a mental problem to a woman in a marriage. And so many women say, I feel like I'm married, but I feel like a prostitute, because there's no communication, there's no intimacy, it's a duty. And when it becomes a duty, then love is not present. And that makes so many, because with a man, I don't know no man that I ever talked to that feel like it's a duty.
I ain't talked to him.
Come on.
There was one. Well, it was way back in the day. I can't I can't say names and do it whatever. But there was one. But yeah, I think he even had more. Actually, I think he had more of a problem the fact that she wasn't hygiene. She didn't take care of her hygiene
That's something we'll be dealing with too.
Listen, that's part of. We'll get there. That's part of sex too in a marriage. Whatever. You can't be stinking. Can't be. Smelling.
Can't be like. Yeah, it's like. You remember when our girls were growing up and we weren't even thinking about no sex, but I was just like, you don't go to bed stinking. And you make sure you take a shower, or you do this. And now my girls to this day gonna put perfume on pillows, on the sheets, all that stuff, because I was training them. Eventually you'll have a husband and you don't show up that way. And then I'm that way when it comes to a man. Like, what? Well, I don't smell no cologne. Like, what is up? You know, because that is disgusting to me. Some people who dress different, do stuff different, each his own. But I wasn't created to do that.
Can't nobody tell me they okay with a foul smell unless they got COVID. And
No
they can't
smell,
taste
no
the smell.
Oh my goodness.
You can't tell me you okay with that.
I would be just completely embarrassed. And I've been married 35 years almost. It's like, don't you know if you smell? Right. Don't you know that you need to take a shower? Don't you know? You know, and it's just like, I don't get it.
Sometimes they tell you, let's take a shower together. Not because they just want a romantic take a shower. They want you to get clean. And they didn't want to tell you stink. Hey, let's take a shower before.
Wow. And it's like, do you consider those type of things? It's like, I heard somebody talking and saying that just because you like looking good and you don't care about you care about yours, don't mean I need to.
Yeah.
And to me, it matters too. But some people, like I say, in this generation, it may not matter. But I remember you telling me early on about don't come to bed with your hair all tied up and bonnets on and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I think about, I've been married this long and I never came to bed with my hair tied up. Not because I felt forced or felt like, no, you were expressing what you didn't like. And so why would I want to turn you off? And so that's something people's like, man, you went and got your hair done. And I said, I never tie my hair up. And they was like, really? And now they're training the little bitty girls to wear bonnets and to do that. And so then they're comfortable and they go to this grocery store, they go to the stores and they go to the airports and they go everywhere. It's just like, what happened?
Nobody cares what they look like.
And
Nobody
so
cares how they sing.
I would have to literally be like sick or something majorly happen for me not to care how I look.
Yeah.
And I think in this marriage, both of us, that has been a thing. Neither one of us have like had moments where we just didn't care how we looked or how we dressed or how we smelled.
Right.
And that's just haven't been a thing, but it's a thing in people's relationships.
That's about presenting yourself well.
Yeah.
It ain't about being superficial.
No.
And like, oh, I can't leave the house unless I got
A whole
sprayed
face on and lips. No.
No, it's not about being superficial, but it's about respecting yourself and respecting who you're married to and presenting.
Because I see so
yourself
many
well.
women who are not married yet, and they say they want a husband, but they don't care what they look like. And no matter what you don't care about, I don't know a man that God made that don't like pretty.
That's true.
I just don't know one. And you can come up with your own philosophy, like this generation is doing, and say, take me or leave me. You're being left.
Right.
You see, and it's like, and then when they cheat, they're looking for pretty, and they're looking for something different, and you just not
especially if they're going to cheat.
Yeah, if they're going to do that. But I'm just saying, the way you present in your hygienes matter in sex, the way you look and the things you put on to go to bed. I hear so many saying, man, she wearing football clothes and she wearing sweatshirts and she wearing big old dirty dingy white t-shirts. It's just like, what is making you do that when he's complaining about it?
Yeah.
It's like, no, if he told you, listen.
And if you're wearing it because you don't want him to touch you, then that's a problem too.
Yeah.
That means y'all need to seek counseling. Y'all need to get help.
Yeah.
Because you should want each other to want to touch and rub up and all those kind of things.
Yeah. And it's like, the fact that you tried to put on a whole military outfit to go to bed so he don't touch you, like you said, it is time to have a conversation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Put in the chat what your some of your pet peeves are about sex. We said smell. We said negligee or perfume or things like that. Whatever. What are some of your pet peeves about sex? Put it in the chat. I would love to hear what turns you on, what turns you off. And what's something in this topic that you
that didn't
want us
sound
to
right.
touch
You
on?
don't need to know what turned him on and what.
We just talked about it.
I'm just making a joke. So, because I was gonna say, be honest with your spouse and say, I don't like when you do that to my ear. I don't want you to touch me right there. I don't like that. And so many people take it.
Don't say it like that, please. Pretty please. Didn't they say with sugar on top? Yes, with sugar. Say it with some sugar. Don't say I don't like it when you.
No, you know why we say it like that? When we say it, it's because I should have told you 10 years ago, and I didn't, and now I'm disgusted, you know. But no, start early
Blowing in my
on.
ear.
Yeah, like what? Like don't do that. That is not romantic. Don't do that. Don't.
That's messed up. That we can actually be doing things for years that is not romantic, that the other person don't like, because we saw it in a movie or we saw it somewhere or whatever.
Like, don't.
But listen, if that ain't something you like,
say something.
Say something.
Say it with a face like this. No.
Yeah. And listen, when if you're asking when do I say it, yesterday.
Yes.
Say it sooner than Don't let me keep touching you there and you don't like it. Come on, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, I just can't process that. I'm completely turned off, you know?
Okay, so that's what about, and I'm not asking nobody to put this in the chat. I'm not saying we need to go detail, but like what's okay with married people and positions and things like that? You know, what's okay?
Positions can be over the top when you're first married, if you're getting married young in your 20s all the way up to maybe around 40. By the time you get to 50, you're like, put my leg down.
Charlie horse. I got a cramp.
It will change.
Ooh, oh my God, my legs went numb. My legs went numb. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my
It was like swing from the chandelier while you can.
Yes, enjoy every position you can, because at some point you're gonna try to find comfort in position, and you're gonna be like, "Come on, like what you waiting on? Come on, like dang, like come on." When you was young, you're like, "Let's go to all."
That's why I
you
keep
follow the
saying-
songs. Let's go all night till the sun come up. When you get older, like let's both get there and get done.
It is crazy. I always say, I never thought I would say, when I look at young people today, where I say, man, youth is a beautiful thing.
Yes,
I mean, youth is a hot commodity.
yeah, the youth is wasted on the young.
Yes, it is, because you don't get wisdom and get wise until you get old.
Yeah.
And then now you wish you had the youth to go
Yeah.
with it. It's like crazy. And
Yes.
it's just like, and then questions that you should ask your spouse, or they've already told you, is how often and what's often enough and what's not enough.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, because somebody else can be over here struggling and suffering because they like, wait, once a month?
Right.
You know, but then you got some couples that are cool with that. So when we're in a marriage session, unless both people are, somebody's complaining, we don't get to say.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Because if they're both cool with that and they mean it, I know you're trying to.
Unless they're young, there should be no reason to
Oh
both
yeah,
be
if
okay
you're
with
like
that. If
in
you're
your
young,
20s and 30s and you
But if
talking about
you're
once a month,
older
something's
and you-
wrong.
Both of y'all cool with once a month, and more power to you. But if you in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you talking about once a month,
No, yeah. I'm like,
how did you find the right person that was okay with that? How did y'all find each other? Wow. yeah. So no,
yeah.
yeah.
So those are things that people, because some people are like, man, I'm starving to death, and they only want to. So now this one right here is where the compassion and empathy has to come in, and that when age happens, and poor lifestyle of eating and choices that people make in the relationship where they no longer can perform, and are, you know, because diabetes, high blood pressure, all of those things, especially from my perspective as a naturopathic holistic nutritionist, I understand what causes, because it doesn't happen for the woman unless she had some kind of something that caused something in that arena. But for the male, it happens more than we want it to happen.
Yeah, and absolutely. And one of the things I've found recently, studies are showing that, and all those things definitely play a role into it. But there are studies that are saying that in this day and age, with more sitting and even jobs that you sit and
Yep.
things like that, as you get older, there's less activity. So the pelvic muscles are actually not having the activity as much as when you were running around and
Yeah.
active. You in the gym, you would, and so as you get older and the pelvic muscles are lazy because you sit a lot or whatever, then when it's time to have erections or things like that, I try not to say certain things because I don't want YouTube to be trying to,
But when you push the
categorize
thing and
us, but-
says that this is not for children and not for, so
all right,
it's,
all right.
yeah.
So when you have erections, they can't last as long or things like that. And it's not because you don't want to, but it's because your muscles down there are weak. That's what they call it. They are weak or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm finding there are actually exercises and things like that, breathing techniques and exercises and stretches and things that you can do to re-strengthen them, and in a little while that they can get stronger and things like that. So
Yeah, but if you have a poor diet,
Yeah,
you
if you
can
have a poor diet, that's tough.
you can do all
Yeah.
that. And like I said, if you're on high blood pressure medication and you're diabetic, you may have some major issues.
Yeah.
Because it causes you not to have blood flow.
Right.
And it causes you not to be able to perform.
Yeah.
If you're on those medications.
Absolutely.
And most people are on those medications because they're not disciplined enough to be able to do what they need to do to not be on them.
yeah.
So yeah.
All right, let's talk about talk about. I want to hear you talk about, because you understood how to overcome this, but it hit you for a moment, but then you learned how to overcome it with your specialty and things like that. But a lot of women are struggling with this, how sex affects them with menopause, and sticking their head in freezers and carrying fans with them at all times, and and how that affects sex and
I mean,
relationship.
because anything that has a hormonal issue is going to affect it. And a lot of times women are entering into menopause or perimenopause before they get there. They don't understand what is happening because a lot of people don't educate themselves in those arenas. I know that eventually I'm going to be 50 or I'm going to be 40 or I'm going to be 60. So, around that time now, based on food and the things that are happening in the world, they're starting at 35 earlier. And so because of what's happening, it's causing the hormonal system not to work right. And so the moment that happens, only a couple of things can happen. A lot of times when they're starting in it and don't know what they are, they withdraw from sex.
Right.
They don't want to be touched. They don't understand why they're so irritable and why they just want you away from them, which is such an easy fix. But they don't know what's
They
happening.
don't know and they don't know the fix.
They don't know the fix. And so I remember when I first started entering into menopause, and I was just like, oh, just the thought of it, or someone invading my space. Or I can be in a grocery store. I'm like, oh my God, radar, they standing too close to me. I'm literally going to hurt somebody. Had no clue. But my dear friend, Dr. Rita Stanley, made a call, said something is wrong with me because we both have been in the arena of, she's a physician and then I was nutrition. And so I knew my body. And so I made a call, got some blood work done. And I remember the phone call. And it was like, thank God I'm in the field, because if not, I would have been like, am I dying? She said, poor baby. And I said, what? And she said, but it's an easy fix. And then when I went in, it was like my hormones was at the bottom of the total post. It was like ridiculous. But because we're operating, both of us, and she does functional and I'm operating in the natural side of everything, she knew, and she wouldn't have never prescribed me a synthetic hormone. All one size fit all. Right. That should not be the case. Yeah. And so when I did the bioidentical hormones, and I did that, I promise you, within 2 weeks, my whole world changed. Because you were like, okay, so are we going to be hot or cold in an hour? Is the cover staying on, the cover coming off? What is happening? The fan? Oh my God. You're like, I got to wear hoodies.
If I touch you, fire happens.
Yes. Yeah. All of those things that happen. And back in the day, they didn't know what was happening to them. A lot of women end up in mental institutions. And that doesn't have to be your story, because there's help out there, but you don't want to do anything that's not natural. And so on the women's side of things, hormonal play a major part of your sex drive. And if that is not balanced with your vitamin D levels being where it needs to be, in your hormonal levels, all of the different ones, estrogen, progesterone, all of those things, they need to be at a level. And that's what technology, science, medical, all those things now play a role where you don't have to suffer anymore like they used to suffer. Right. And so I just did something about it. And because I knew I didn't want to live that way, and I didn't want you to live that way. And so you got to think about more than just yourself, because a lot of men, when they get to the point where they feel like they cannot get an erection and they have a problem, they're so private and they don't want nobody to know, and they will stay stuck in a suffering non-sexual relationship because of their pride and because they don't want no one else to know.
Yeah, sometimes it's pride and sometimes it's shame.
Either way, shame is pride to me, because if God says you this and you want to be in shame, then what's the deal? So either one of them are wrong. And so I'm just saying that you cannot be that much of being ashamed and that much in pride that you don't get help for you and your wife. It's too much information out here today, and no one's judging you when you go to the right place, because they're doing it now all over the world. And then change your eating habits. You can't be no 50 years old still eating all that fried chicken and sitting up eating all this fast food and doing all these things that's causing you to not be able to, because it's causing your arteries and your vessels to be clogged up. Yeah. And then if you have a heart issue, normally you have a erection issue. And so they all go together. And so we just have to take better care of our health, because if somebody's, if Abraham can make it happen at 100, you better keep on making it happen.
Abraham wasn't eating the stuff they
That's
feeding
what
us.
I'm saying. We quit eating that stuff.
I'm talking about there's
They don't even sell that no more.
right. They don't even have. But Abraham could have went and got what was them things in them that they get to cause them to get pregnant in the Bible.
Oh, that plant that they had. Yes,
that
they
plant,
can do all kinds
mandrakes.
of things. Yeah,
Was that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were able to do all kind of things. We don't even have soil for that kind of stuff anymore. And so you have to do the best you can. You got to keep moving. You got to eat better, and you got to make better decisions if you want sex to be something that you want to have longevity doing.
Yep. Good. Anything I'm sure, I know we can't cover everything, but because we're just talking off the cuff. But
what I would say, if you're struggling in marriage because of one or the other can't perform, there is no excuse to stay stuck. You have to be able to do what you got to do, and there's solutions and there's ways for that not to happen.
Yeah, if you want trusted sources, DM us, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We don't, we see.
We'll
we
get
see
your
this all the
hormones checked.
time.
I can do blood work. I can send you to Dr. Stanley. We can make it happen.
You can do food plans.
I can do all of that.
Real Fabulous Nutrition.
No, it's
Shout
not.
out.
It's called Vibrant Life Wellness
Vibrant
Center.
Life. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
That's still on the license plate, but we need to change the license plate.
Wellness Center.
Vibrant Life Wellness Center. She can get you right. Yeah. That's good. Man, you know what? When we have an episode like this where we're talking about sex, man, I think the best thing to do is to tell all the couples that are married. And,
I already know what you're gonna say. Oh my God, you're such a.
Let's go have some sex. One of my favorite Bible scriptures, as a man of God and pastor, people always say, "What's your favorite Bible scripture?" One of them is they were naked and unashamed.
I didn't hear you.
But you know what I said. That's always one of my favorites. So why don't we go get naked and unashamed and have some sex?
If you married.
Yeah, I'm only talking to the married folks. I'm only talking to the married folks.
You have to be clear. They be say I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm say it again. If you're married. But no, I think that's. Any last words on it?
No, I mean, sex was created for you to be enjoyed. If it's not enjoyable no more, find the source and the reason why, so you can get back to it.
Yeah, if you love God, love each other, you communicate, you connect, you handle conflict well, you've built trust with one another. I mean, all these, your faith is in the same God. I mean, all these things being right, you should want to have sex with one another.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. That's been another great episode of the Next Level Marriage Podcast. It's actually been one of my favorite episodes of the Next Level Marriage
Maybe
Podcast.
I should be thinking about more stuff.
But again, I've been one half of your dynamic duo. I go by the name of Dr. James Byrd. Please like, subscribe, or share. And I got my lovely wife who goes by the name of
Dr. Angel Byrd.
And together we are
The Love Birds.
We'll see you next episode.
That never moves. This is how we learn what real love proves. Next Level Marriage Podcast. We're calling you to something deeper, something pure and true.